Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanet Hari Vallabha Girivanet Hari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanet Hari Jana Vallabha Girivanet Hari Yasodanandana Brajagana Ranjana Brajagana Ranjana Yasodanandana Brajagana Ranjana Nandana Brajagana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanet Hari Vallabha Girivanet Hari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivanet Hari Yasoda Nandana Brajagana Ranjana Brajagana Ranjana Yasoda Nandana Brajagana Ranjana Nandana Brajagana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Bihari Jaya Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Pakavacharya Satarya Shishimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Ananta Gauda Vaishnavinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem Sikosi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gauda Bhaktivinoda Ki ISKCON founder Srila Prabhupada Ki Shri Radha Krishna Go Gopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Vrindavan Dham Ki Mayapur Dham Ki Navadvip Dham Ki Jamuna Mayi Ki Ganga Mai ki, Tulsi Devi ki, Bhakta Devi ki, Shishi Radha Golokananda ki, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki, Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So we're continuing our reading of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. We've been a few weeks, so we're back on track. We're in Madhya chapter 21, the opulence and sweetness of Lord Sri Krishna. Again, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu having a discussion with Sanatana Goswami. And that will continue. We do this our second chapter, and we have 2 more chapters of this discussion. And we're on text 87, chapter 21, Madhya Lila. So text 87. According to the size of the universe, this is Lord Chaitanya instructing Sanatana Goswami. According to the size of the universe, there are so many big heads on the body of Brahma. In this way, I maintain innumerable universes, Brahmadasas. No one can measure the length and the breadth of the 1/4 of my energy manifested in the material world. Who then can measure the 3/4 that is manifested in the spiritual world? Beyond the river Raja is the spiritual nature, which is indestructible, eternal, inexhaustible, and unlimited. It is the supreme abode, consisting of 3/4 of the Lord's opulences. It is known as Paryovana, the spiritual sky. And this verse is from Padma Purana, and it's quoted by Lord Krishna. 89. In this way, Lord Krishna bade farewell to the 4-headed Brahma of the universe. We may thus understand that no one can calculate the extent of Krishna's energies. There's a very deep meaning to the word Tri Adhisvara, which indicates that Krishna possesses 3 different lokas, or nature. Purport. The word Tri Adhisvara means proprietor of the 3 worlds. There are 3 worlds, and Krishna is the supreme proprietor of them all. This is explained by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, text 29. Bhuktaram yajatapasan sarva loka maheshwaram suridam sarva bhutanam jatvamam santim richati. A person in full conscious of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. The word Sarvaloka means all 3 worlds, and the word Maheshvara means the supreme proprietor. Krishna is the proprietor of both the material and spiritual world. The spiritual world is divided into 2 portions, Goloka Vrindavan, and the Vaikunthas. The material world is a combination of universes unlimited in number. Text 91. The three lokas are Gokula, Goloka, Mathura, and Dwarka. Krishna lives eternally in these three places. Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur comments that in the Goloka planet, there are three divisions, Gokula, Mathura, and Dwarka. In his incarnation as Gaura Sundar, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Lord conducts his pastimes in three areas, Navadvip, Jagannath Puri, and South India, and Vraja Mandala, the area of Vrindavan Dham. 92. These three places are full of internal potencies, and Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is their sole proprietor. As previously mentioned, the jewels on the helmets of all the predominating deities of all the universes and Vaikuntha planets touch the throne at the lotus feet of the Lord when those deities are offered obeisances. When the gems on the helmets of all the predominating deities collide before the throne and the Lord's lotus feet, there is a jingling sound, which seemed like prayers offered by the helmets at Krishna's lotus feet. So that Om Gandha Tamaranda Shagananjana Shilakaya Chakshur Om Tamnena Tajmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Yes, on the spiritual platform, everything is a song, and everything is, when it comes to the Lord and his devotees, as pure Satsananda, it's pure bliss. When Garuda flaps his wings, it's like the hymns of the Vedas are being chanted, and the prayers just in his actions. (96) Krishna is thus situated eternally in his spiritual potency, and the opulence of that spiritual potency is called Sad Ashvara, indicating 6 kinds of opulences. Because he possesses the spiritual potencies which fulfill all his desires, Krishna is accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the Vedic version. So how we know who is God? We know who God is? Is that person who possesses all opulences in full. Possesses everything, all 6 opulences. That's who the Lord is. 98. The unlimited potencies of Krishna are just like an ocean of nectar. Since one cannot bathe within that ocean, I have only touched a drop of it. 99. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was describing the opulences and spiritual potencies of Krishna in this way, there was an awakening of love of Krishna within him. His mind became immersed in the sweetness of conjugal love, and he quoted the following verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. To exhibit the strength of his own spiritual potency, Lord Krishna manifested a form just suitable for his pastimes in the material world. This form was wonderful even for him, and was the supreme abode of the wealth of good fortune. His limbs were so beautiful that they increased the beauty of the ornaments worn on different parts of his body. Purport. This verse is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, chapter 2, text 12. It is stated in a conversation between Vidura and Uddhava. Uddhava thus begins his description of the pastimes of Sri Krishna in his form exhibited by Yoga Maya. Sometimes we change clothes. We go to work, we put on certain clothes that's suitable for work. Sometimes we come to the temple, we put on clothes that's suitable for the temple. We go in the dry room when we change clothes. And then sometimes that change in those clothes actually affects our consciousness. you got to get ready for work. You got to get ready for this. Your greeting friends are coming over. You got to, put on an apron when you cook or something. And so it's similarly, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is a person, and because he possesses all these opulences, the potency of all those opulences, he can just change his form when he wants to do a particular activity. It's so sweet. (101) Lord Krishna has many pastimes, of which his pastimes as a human being are the best. His form as a human being is the supreme transcendental form. In this form, he is a cowherd boy. He carries a flute in his hand, and his youth is new. He is also an expert dancer. All this is just suitable for his pastimes as a human being. That Lord Ram similarly acts as a human. And we talked about these three places, Ayodhya, Dwarka, and Goloka, are separate from Vaikuntha. And Lord Chaitanya wanted to dance as a human. He wanted to dance like Lakshmi as a pastime. And so he was going to, it was a play they were going to put on, and he was going to take that play of that Lakshmi and dance. And this is actually very special to see the Lord dance. But he told everybody, unless you're pure, you're free from material desire, you're not going to be able to see me dance. So Advaita Acharya was the first one that spoke up. He said, well, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to see you dance because I'm not a pure person. And Srivas said, I'm not going to be able to see you dance either. So in their humility, they all looking at themselves as unqualified to see the Lord dance. But the Lord, he laughed, and he reminded them that their love for him made them qualified to see him dance. And this was actually a big issue, especially early when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Nimai came back from Gaya, and he was starting to feel ecstasy of his love for Krishna, and these things, emotions were coming out. And so his kirtan sessions began at Srivas Thakur's house. And these kirtans were very loud, and people could hear these kirtans. But when these kirtans began, Lord Chaitanya ordered the doors locked to the house. Close the doors, lock the doors. And only those persons initially who were allowed in were those Vaishnavas, even before Lord Chaitanya revealed himself, were chanting Hare Krishna. Advaita and his associate Haridas Thakur, Srivas Thakur and his brothers. So there was a small group in Navadvip that were actually chanting the Mahamantra. So they were the first ones that were allowed in to these kirtan. So it wasn't that Lord Chaitanya did, and so many people were locked out, and of course this caused some people were envious, some people were, very few realized, I'm not qualified, and they wanted to see the Lord dance. That's what he kept them from seeing. Here in the kirtan was for everybody, but that became very intimate, his dance, and that was very personal. On that personal feelings and emotions, he didn't want to exhibit in front of just anybody. So there were some people who thought they could sneak in. Srivas's mother-in-law, for one, and that didn't work too well. The Lord realized there's something not right here. He's not feeling it. He just can't get the kirtan going. He just can't get it, just can't get it. And these were rip-roaring kirtans. These things were through the universe they emanated. So they found her out and they took her out. But Srivas was very compassionate Vaishnava. And he had a friend who was a Brahmin. And this friend was subsisted on a raw food diet, fruit and milk, very austere Brahmin. And Srivas was thinking, well, he's got to be qualified to see the Lord dance. Of course, this is early on. So he snuck him in to his house and had him hide. And so he could, So here goes Lord Chaitanya again. He's getting the kirtans going. He's trying to get it going. But it just couldn't get it to a certain level. He knew there's something. Of course, he's omniscient. But still, the emotions are still there in the Supreme Lord. He's the person. He feels these symptoms. They're real. They're not pretending. He's not putting on a show. He's expressing his own personal mood that he's in at a particular time. So the kirtan again couldn't get on. He said, "There's something wrong. Something's here. It's just not, it's just not right." And they endeavored again. So finally, Srivas spoke up and owned up to it and said, I invited this Brahmin. He's very Pukka Brahmin. He performs all these austerities. He's got he lives on a raw fruit diet. But Lord Chaitanya said, none of those things are qualifications for you to see him dancing. All these austerities, one cannot achieve love of God. One has to actually get the mercy of a pure devotee. Now, this Brahmin actually got the mercy of Srivas. But Lord Chaitanya says he's got to go. He can't stay. So that was the mood. So this Brahmin, in his humility, realized, I wasn't qualified to see the Lord dance. I'm being treated fairly. I'm not being treated unfairly. I mean, most of us would feel rejection when somebody orders you out of their house. I don't want you here. Our huge false egos would be devastated. And then we'd become angry and we'd want revenge and all these. This is the material contamination. But this Brahmin was thinking the other way. I'm not qualified. This is very right. And then Lord Chaitanya, understanding his mood in his heart, the purification of his heart, said, okay, he's qualified. Now, bring him back. So this is some talking about Lord Chaitanya dancing. How, of course, when he got out in public, eventually he danced and revealed himself later as the kirtans got on. One thing pretty nice about people that initially who were envious, not being able to get in and see, that there was a lot of people that were worried about these kirtans and the king creating havoc for Navadvip. Of course, Lord Chaitanya eventually took sannyas. He came to the house at Dvaitacharya. And then the people who heard about him taking sannyas, of course, everybody was sorrowful. They all went to see him. Everybody in Navadvip left. And those people who were envious had a change of heart. And they realized, how much a mistake that we have made. And they also went to follow the feet of Lord Chaitanya to get his mercy, to get forgiveness for their offense of rejecting him when he was Nimai. They recognized this. Okay, so in this way, Lord inundated the entire Navadvip, and the numbers are astronomical. Millions of people were given Lord Chaitanya's mercy. It's just almost inconceivable. Okay, any questions? We'll continue on. 102. My dear Sanatan, the sweet, attractive, transcendental form of Krishna is so nice. Just try to understand it. Even a fractional understanding of Krishna's beauty can merge all three worlds in the ocean of love. He attracts all living entities within the three worlds. The transcendental form of Krishna is shown to the world by Lord Krishna's internal spiritual energy, which is a transformation of pure goodness. This jewel-like form is the most confidential treasure of the devotees. This form is manifested from Krishna's eternal pastimes. The wonderful form of Krishna and his personal feature is so great that it attracts even Krishna to taste his own association. Indeed, Krishna becomes very eager to taste it, Total beauty, knowledge, wealth, strength, and fame, and renunciation are the 6 opulences of Krishna. He is eternally situated in his opulences. Right? So you can see like Lord Chaitanya, which is not different than Krishna, wanted to taste that nectar of Lord Krishna. So he took a form suitable for that pastimes. And simultaneously, we all get the benefit of Lord Chaitanya showering his mercy upon all of us. Okay, purport. Krishna has many pastimes, of which his pastimes in Goloka Vrindavan, the Gokul Leela, are supreme. He also has pastimes in the Vaikunthas, the spiritual world, as Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Anirudra. In his pastimes in the spiritual sky, he lies down in the causal ocean as Karnadakshai Vishnu, the Purusha avatar. His incarnation as a fish, tortoise, and so on are called his causal incarnations, or incarnations for particular occasions. He incarnates in the modes of nature as Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lord Vishnu. He also incarnates as empowered living entities like Prithu and Vyas. The Supersoul is his localized incarnation, and his all-pervasive aspect is the impersonal Brahman. When we consider impartially all the unlimited pastimes of the Lord, we find that his pastimes as a human being on this planet, wherein he sports as a cowherd boy with a flute in his hands and appears youthful and fresh like a ballet dancer, are pastimes and features that are never subjected to material laws or iniquities. The wonderful beauty of Krishna is present in the supreme planet, Gokula, Goloka Vrindavan. Inferior to that is his representation in the spiritual sky. The inferior to that is his representation in the external energy, Devadam. A mere drop of Krishna's sweetness can drown these 3 worlds, Goloka, Vrindavan, Haridam, Vaikuntha Loka, and Devdam, the material world, everywhere. Krishna's beauty merges everyone in the ecstasy of transcendental bliss. Actually, the activities of Yoga Maya are absent in the spiritual sky and the Vaikuntha planets. He simply works in the supreme planet, Goloka Vrindavan. And she works to manifest the activities of Krishna when he descends on the material universe. To please his innumerable devotees within the material world, thus a replica of Goloka Vrindavan planet and the pastimes there are manifested on this planet on a specific tract of land, Bhoma Vrindavan, the Vrindavan Dham on this planet. Right? So here again, this Vrindavan is non-different than Goloka Vrindavan. So this is the Raganuga platform to enter into that place. Primarily, it's the Vaidhi platform of rules and regulations, structure, and working within that is the Vaikuntha. This special place is Raganuga, where spontaneous devotion is performed. 105. Ornaments caress that body, but the transcendental body of Krishna is so beautiful that it beautifies the ornaments he wears. Therefore, Krishna's body is said to be the ornament of ornaments. Enchanting the wonderful beauty of Krishna is his 3-curved style of standing. Above all these beautiful features, Krishna's eyes dance and move obliquely, acting like arrows to pierce the minds of Srimati Radharani and the gopis. When the arrow succeeds in hitting its target, their minds become agitated. The beauty of Krishna's body is so attractive that it attracts not only the demigods and other living entities within the material world, but the personalities of the spiritual sky as well, including the Narayans, who are expansions of Krishna's body. The minds of Narayans are thus attracted by the beauty of Krishna's body. In addition, the goddess of fortune, Lakshmis, who are the wives of the Narayans and are the women described in the Vedas, are most chaste, are also attracted to the wonderful beauty of Krishna. Favoring the gopis, Krishna rides on the chariots of their minds, and just to receive a love and service from them, he attracts their minds like Cupid. Therefore, he is also called Madan Mohan, the attractor of Cupid. Cupid has 5 arrows representing form, taste, smell, sound, and touch. Krishna is the owner of these 5 arrows, and with his Cupid-like beauty, he conquers the minds of the gopis. Though they are very proud of their super excellent beauty, becoming a new Cupid, Krishna attracts their minds and engages in the rasa dance. When Lord Krishna wanders in the forest of Vrindavan with his friends on an equal level, there are innumerable cows grazing. This is another of the Lord's blissful enjoyments. When he plays on his flute, all living entities, including trees, plants, animals, and human beings, tremble and are saturated with jubilation. Tears flow constantly from their eyes. Wow. Krishna wears a pearl necklace that appears like a chain of white ducks around his neck. The peacock feather in his hair appears like a rainbow. His yellow garments appear like lightning in the sky. Krishna appears like a newly risen cloud, and the gopis appear like newly grown grains in the field. Constant rains of nectarian pastimes fall upon these newly grown grains, and it seems that the gopis are receiving beams of life from Krishna, exactly as grains receive life from the rains. And we can see that, of course, when Krishna leaves and goes to Mathura, this dries up. You know, in their mood of separation. I mean, it's intense separation from Krishna when he leaves. I mean, all these trees, everything we heard described, the trees, the flowers, the gopis, the residents, everything dries up. It's like a changing of the season. You know, it's worse than autumn. And when Uddhava was sent by Krishna to go to Vrindavan to try to mitigate some of this misery. Now, this misery is not like the misery we've experienced. Misery has a spiritual ecstasy in it, which in itself is hard to understand. We'll get a chance to experience it, I hope. You all way before me. But this is what we're signing up for. Most of us, we're all being encouraged to go to Goloka Vrindavan. And we take birth at one point on a planet where Krishna's performing his pastimes are going on. So we take birth in the womb of a gopi. And then we grow up there with Krishna who grows up. And if we're a gopi, we want to marry Krishna. And then all of a sudden, Krishna leaves. We put everything in our life is dedicated to Krishna. Every moment, we go out at night, we give up everything, our reputation, everything, to be with Krishna. And then he leaves. And then we hear he gets married. And for a woman, this is pretty devastating. But for gopis, they never give up their love. It never, regardless of what Krishna does, their attachment and their love is so pure. So, when Uddhava is going to Vrindavan, we've mentioned Yoga Maya here, Krishna wants him to have a real experience. So she changes the atmosphere in Vrindavan. All the trees bloom, all the flowers bloom, everything, the whole thing becomes like Vrindavan, like when Krishna was there. This is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam when Uddhava goes to Vrindavan. He wants him to experience it in a very special way. So, All right, we'll continue. Text 110. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is full of 6 opulences, including his attractive beauty, which engages him in conjugal love with the gopis. Such sweetness is the quintessence of his qualities. Sukadev Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, has described these pastimes of Krishna throughout Srimad Bhagavatam. Hearing the descriptions, the devotees become mad with love of God. Just as a woman of Mathura ecstatically described the fortune of the gopis of Vrindavan and the transcendental qualities of Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described the different mellows of Krishna and became overwhelmed with ecstatic love. Grasping the hand of Sanatana Goswami, he recited the following verse. What austerities must the gopis have performed? With their eyes, they always drink the nectar of the form of Lord Krishna, which is the essence of loveliness, and is not to be equaled or surpassed. That loveliness is the only abode of beauty, fame, and opulence. It is self-perfect, ever fresh and unique. This verse is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, chapter 44, text 14. Was spoken by the women of Mathura when they saw Krishna in the wrestling arena. The bodily beauty of Sri Krishna is like a wave in the ocean of eternal youth. And that great ocean is the whirlpool of the awakening of ecstatic love. The vibration of Krishna's flute is like a whirlwind, and the flickering minds of the gopis are like straws and dry leaves. After they fall down in the whirlwind, they never rise again, but remain eternally at the lotus feet of Krishna. This is so poetic here. My dear friend, what severe austerities have the gopis performed to drink this transcendental nectar and sweetness? Through their eyes is complete fulfillment. Thus they glorify their births and bodies and minds. The sweetness of Krishna's beauty enjoyed by the gopis is unparalleled. Nothing is equal or greater than such ecstatic sweetness. Even the predominating deities of Vaikuntha planets, the Narayans, do not possess such sweetness. Indeed, none of the incarnations of Krishna up to Narayan possess such transcendental beauty. The vivid evidence in this regard is that the dearest consort of Narayan, goddess of fortune, who is worshipped by all chaste women, gave up everything in her desire to enjoy Krishna, being captivated by his unparalleled sweetness. Thus she took a great vow and underwent severe austerities. The quintessence of Krishna's body. He's not going to break down that. So she performed austerities. She wanted to be with Krishna. And at the end of fulfilling that great austerity, Krishna talked to her. I mean, you willing to live in a cowherd village, dusty roads, dust accumulated, willing to make cow patties every day for firewood, milk cows, and she was willing to do it all. But then when he said, you're going to have to marry somebody else. That's when she said, no, I can't do that. That's what ultimately she refused to do that. And that was that's what kept her from ultimately experiencing. Because you have to be able to give up everything when it comes to your devotion to Krishna. Everything has to be given up. The attachment that we can't have any other attachment other than the service. Even our family. That's why the gopis' love is the topmost, because they gave up everything. Nothing that they hold on to. The vivid evidence in this regard is 117. The quintessence of Krishna's sweet bodily luster is so perfect that there is no perfection above it. He is the innumerable mind of all transcendental qualities. In his other manifestations and personal expansions, there is only a partial exhibition of such qualities. We understand all his personal expansions in this way. Both the gopis and Krishna are complete. The gopis' ecstatic love is like a mirror that becomes newer and newer at every moment and reflects Krishna's bodily luster and sweetness. Thus, competition increases. Since neither give up, their pastimes become newer and newer, and both sides constantly increase. The transcendental metals generated from the dealings between the gopis and Krishna cannot be tasted by means of fruitive activity, yogic austerities, speculative knowledge, regulative devotional service, mantra yoga, or meditation. This sweetness can be tasted only through the spontaneous love of liberated persons who chant the holy names with great ecstatic love. And that's what we're searching for. Rupa Goswami says if you can find it anywhere in the marketplace, and that marketplace is the pure devotees who are distributing it. If you can find it anywhere in the marketplace, purchase it immediately. Such sweet transcendental transactions between Krishna and the gopis are possible only in Vrindavan, which is full of the optimism of transcendental love. The form of Krishna is the original source of all transcendental qualities. It is like a mine of gems. The optimism belonging to all the personal expansions of Krishna are to be understood to be bestowed by Krishna. Therefore, Krishna is the original source and shelter of everyone. Anybody got any comments, anything you want to express? Yeah, Purva. How you purchase it in the marketplace? Well, you're probably the best example of that. Because whenever there's a program somewhere, you go there. Whether you got to go to D.C., you got to go to Atlanta. I mean, you set such a great example. You look to the marketplace and the spiritual activities that we have in ISKCON. Wherever you're searching, you're trying to do that nectar. But these typical Rasika devotees that will ultimately give us this type of benediction, this spontaneous devotion. Those you can't give something that you don't have. You can only give it. We all give our relationship, our association, our knowledge up to the level that we personally have. So when we find these very advanced devotees, we go and we search and receive whatever nectar they're giving out. And so these types of devotees are extremely rare. But as we make progress, we have to stay in the association devotee. This is not going to be found in the mall, in the material world. Search in those places, you're not going to receive this. It's not going to be had there. So this purchase, it means that ultimately you have to make the decision. So that's what the sadhana bhakti helps clear the mind, so that we can see clearly. And when the opportunity makes itself available, we take advantage of that. We make that decision. And when the mind is cloudy and contaminated, it makes it a little bit more difficult. Okay, that's good. We'll stop at 121. Thank you very much. All glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya.
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindanalaya Taksham Varhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Akom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalem Priya Priti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Giram Gaganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami 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 Govindam Adipurusham
No card. Namamishwaram Shakshiranandarupam Lasa Rajananam Namamishwaram Shakshiranandarupam Lasa Dalam ule jana Namami Shvaram Shakshi Ananda Rupa Lasa Kundalam Gokule Vrajananam Lasa Ram Sakshi Ananda Rupa Lasa Kundalam Gokule Vrajananam Manam Sitamatan Yaso Atyanta Torutyagodya Purnetram Yamrijanta Purne Yamrijanta Amboja Yumena Atri Damo Muswasakam Patrireka Sitairam Namo Laram Ivaram Iti Vishwalilavi Ananda Kunde Shvagosham Nimajantam Akyapayantam Vishwalila Ananda Kunde Shvagosham Nimajantam Akyapayantam Tadiye Shitarnyeshu Bhaktarjitva Tvam Punas Prematastam Sata Vritivande Tadiye Shitarnyeshu Bhaktarjitva Tvam Puma Tastam Sata Vritivande Varande Vamoksha Namoksha Vadimba Nachanyam Brineham Varishadapiha Varande Vamoksha Namoksha Vadimba Nachanyam Brineham Varishadapiha Idam te vapurnatam gopalavala Sadame manasya virasam kimanya Idam te vapurnatam gopalavala Sadame manasya virasam kimanya Idante mukam vojam atyanta nilai Ritam kuntala shingai rashashchagopya Idante mukam vojam atyanta nilai Ritam kuntala shingai rashashchagopya Muhuchumbitam bimba Bharaktam Dharame Manasya Virastamalam Lakshalavai Muhusyum Vitam Bimbaraktam Virastamalam Lakshalavai Namo Deva Damodarananta Vishnu Prasida Pravoduka Jala Vimagna Damodarananta Vishnu Prasida Pravoduka Jala Vimagna Kripadristri Vristyati Dinambatanu Grihane Shamam Anya Edyakshidisha Kripadristri Vristyati Dinambatanu Grihane Shamam Anya Edyakshidisha Kuvera Majavada Murjaya Yava Tvaya Ochita Vakti Vajau Kritaucha Kuvera Majavada Murjaya Yava Tvaya Bhakti Vajau Kritaucha Tata Prema Bhakti Swakame Prayacha Namokshe Graho Mesti Damodareha Tata Prema Bhakti Swakame Prayacha Namokshe Graho Mesti Damodareha Namaste Studamne Spuraditi Danme Tvadiyo Darayata Vishwasadanme Namaste Studamne Spuraditi Danme Tvadiyo Darayata Vishwasadanme Namo Radhikayai Tvadiyai Priyayai Namo Nantalilaya Devaya Tuyam Namo Radhikayai Tvadiyai Priyayai Namo Nantalilaya Namo Radhikayai Tvadiyai Priyayai Namo Nantalilaya Devaya Tuvyam Namo Radhikayai Tvadiyai Priyayai Namo Nantalilaya Devaya Tuvyam Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara, Radha Damodara, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Nanda, Radha Golokananda, Radha Golokananda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, 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 Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. To bring control, eternal form of blissful knowledge, whose glistening earrings swing to and fro in Gokula, who stole the butter that the gopis kept hanging from their rafters of their storerooms, and who then quickly jumped Shoda, but was ultimately cried and rubbed his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes were fearful and his breathing quick, and his mother Yashoda bound his belly with ropes. He shivered in fright, and his pearls